One of the better fat camps is zoo camp. Mostly on account of it's called zoo camp and not fat camp, and despite being a camp for unathletic kids, there's a wider variety of body types. Also, it's a day camp, so it skips all the more campy aspects of camps and gets right down to the heart of the matter. Awkward kids socializing while learning stuff about animals. And, if everything goes the way it should, about themselves. You learn neat stuff you rattle off to your mother as the phone rings in the other room and you wait for the microwave burrito to cool. Did you know the walrus is terrible at cross-stitch on account of its flipper hands, you say, the phone clanging away in the background? Your mom is unimpressed with the plight of the walrus, with how few blessedness meth patterns can be found hanging on the craggy outcrops of rock along the coast of Labrador. The phone rings and the burrito cools and she asks you, have you made any friends? Like it's that easy to make friends in a world where walruses can't manage thread and needle. And you ask if she knows the natural enemy of the alligator. American or Chinese, she asks, smiling like the phone isn't ringing, and you say American, even though you didn't know there was a Chinese one until now. And it's like she's got the upper hand already. And what's the point in going to zoo camp when your mom already knows all about alligators? No, she says, I don't know the American alligator's natural enemy. And you say the wallet-sized photograph. Maybe she isn't listening anymore, her hand trailing the edge of the plate where her wine glass would be. If the phone wasn't ringing, the wallet-sized photograph put the alligator, the American alligator, on the endangered species list. River rats don't look the way most people think they do. You don't say that. You think it, though. While you're chewing the burrito, and you're trying to chew it fast enough that it doesn't get stiff from having the microwave and all, and the phone rings, and she says, on account of wallets being made from alligators, and you clear your throat while you shake your head. No, you say. No, they're apex predators. That means they eat and don't get eaten, and the only thing that can really eat at them is a memory. Are there any girls, she says? Depends on how hot it is, you say. When it's colder, the eggs hatch as girls, but they're boys when it's hot. This time of year, it's probably mostly boys. At camp, she says. Are there any girls at camp? You chew for a while. We don't camp, you say, not really. You hate this burrito, and you hate the fat little arms, and you hate her face and the smile at its edges, and you tell her no, and you close your eyes and swallow and choose the taste of lips on an early summer morning to savor instead of this terrible meal, and you wonder what you should have done, like there was any right thing you could have done. And all you know is everything your hand and knee did during that kiss was everything that you wish it hadn't. And how you shook and you trembled and how you knew they were going to laugh at you because that's the only reason anyone would kiss fat little you anyway. And you think about the girl and you hide her name from your thinking so you don't have to think like it's real. And you wonder what her hand on your arm could have felt like if they hadn't all been watching and laughing. And you want to say 100 stupid little things that add up to the one thing that means what your chest feels like. But you take another bite instead. You need to talk to people, your mom says, to make friends. I know it's scary sometimes. And the phone rings again, and she gets that pretend the phone isn't ringing face, and before long you're smoking anyhow. And of all the shitty jobs you can have during summer break, the movie theater feels like the best one. It's just like all the others, but you're not all hamburger greasy, and the customers are in good moods on account of they came to see a movie and all. And it's you and the other smokers, and it's your lunch break, and you're funny. Right now, right here, you're funny, and she's laughing, and you look her in the eye, and she looks you in theirs, and there it is. You're saying all the things you always say, all the things you've ever said. The walrus is terrible at cross-stitch. You've enhanced the coast of Labrador with geographical tidbits. You talk about how hard it is for a walrus to build a flat-packed entertainment center and connect the wires to a VCR on a jagged flow of ice. You tell them that the only natural enemy of the American alligator is a wallet-sized photograph, but the alligator in the theater's photo booth in this version is stiff and awkward on a blind date with a swamp rat. They don't look like rats, you say. Swamp rats look more like pigs or funny dogs. They'd make a really cute couple if the swamp rat wasn't food for the alligator. And at night, when the eggs are hatching in the swamp, the alligator sits on his alligator toilet and thumbs through those pictures in his wallet, quiet as quiet can be, so the lady alligator doesn't get wise, and maybe doesn't feel like an apex predator for once. For once, maybe he just feels with that part of him that isn't his teeth. And she likes you, like likes you. And you give her a ride home, you meet her mom, laid out on the sofa like a throw blanket, like a thing you put on a sofa with the intention of covering a stain, but that in time becomes so linked to the stain, the two are no different in your head. Maybe she's not even there, the mother, but you are. Yeah, the girl says, he's a friend from work. He came to see my frogs. And she really has frogs. African clawed frogs, dendrobatids, White's tree frogs, and the star of the show, the ornate horned toad, Pac-Man frog, totally scared of ghosts, but able to eat its weight in crickets and pink mice and regret. You fumble at each other for what feels like hours, and you resent your ineptitude. You don't consider this word, ineptitude, as you cram your hands and fingers anywhere she'll allow, but it rolls through your head as you drive home, arm hanging from the car window. And for a minute, it doesn't matter that Aaron liked her first, and for a minute, even the notion of friendship seems disputable, that the only difference between a friend and an enemy is agreement between the parties. And for a minute, you wish you had all of the skin in the world to take in every bit of this tingling sense of accomplishment. You're a couple now. And when her sister brings home the dog, all car smashed and shit smelling from where its guts got smushed, you know you were never here for love. only the sense of being loved and the electricity of hands-on skin. You sit on the stained sofa watching the sister cradle the mess of gray fur and matted shit and blood as she cries and tugs it closer to her, and you ineptly push whatever words toward her your mouth is able to muster. And your lack of empathy doesn't matter, because it's barely a memory now, and there's no recollecting the exact words you muttered about dogs being apex predators, or the natures of cars, because you're not there anymore, and you're not a couple now, because that moment's blended in with countless others in the decades that have passed since. And singling out one moment when you said or felt the wrong thing seems tedious and pointless now. But you try to remember anyway. To sum up the sort of friendly words, you watch some strange little girl you hardly knew or cared about mourn the loss of her dearest friend. And the only thing that's clear to you is that you're not good at this people thing. And maybe your mom had it wrong in the first place. And maybe making friends is about listening, not talking. And you're in the master bathroom of your mid-century split level, sitting on the toilet with your pants up, quiet as quiet can be so not to disturb your little sleeping family. And you're flipping through the photos on your phone, staring down at the faces in an attempt to remember any moment that doesn't start or end with I or me. The natural enemy of the American alligator, Animalia cordata, reptilia, crocodilia, alligatoridae, alligator mississippiensis, is the wallet-sized photograph. You can't imagine there's ever been a single alligator who ever needed more than one claw to count his friends on. But hey, at least you're not a walrus. Thanks.